Obviously, the main advantage of taking and adapting a extraordinarily well-known piece of work is that you already know there's a story there that works, and the only focus that you have to do is what is it about your adaptation, why are you adapting it, what are you going to do with it.
Jim, movie, watch yourselves.
Even an audience who are not in any sense sort of Shakespearean scholars or even experts, but just sort of mildly interested, will inevitably step forward and go, oh, I wonder how they're going to do this. But, that's obviously in the back of one's mind, and it's, I'm sure, in the back of our actors' minds too. But it's an interesting challenge because there is that opportunity to confound. And sometimes I think confounding is by just doing things very simply and beautifully. So not suggesting that everything needs to be confounded by being, terribly self-consciously clever.
Very quickly, you do get to the text and you realise that Macbeth is 2.5 hours of fairly wordy, fast-paced dialogue. So you kind of need to approach that and say, okay, which bits of this story are we focusing on? What are the elements that in this adaptation we think are important?
Most Shakespeare films will cut quite decisively in order to make some time for other sorts of visual storytelling, and we have done some cutting as well. But everything that is said is straight Shakespeare. We're not changing any lines, although we are omitting some. There may be some characters you might have expected to be male who might turn out to be female in this telling of the story. I don't know, maybe other radical things you can wait and see.
There's a husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out.
When Banquo says to young Fleance, there's husbandry in heaven, heaven's candles are all out. On the one hand, he's saying to Banquo, it's a really dark night, son. And on the other hand, he's saying to the offstage audience, you have to imagine that it's dark now. And the reason he has to say that, of course, is because on the early modern stage, they'll be playing in the afternoon in daylight. And so darkness and light, day and night, are actually a conjuration of the audience's imagination. So you have to signal these things verbally, rhetorically. So it's a play that knows it's a play, and it knows it's a play for the early modern stage. So in deciding to make a contemporary film of this, we are kind of pulling it, wresting it from its own natural medium and choosing to reconfigure it in a radically different medium. And there is something just radical about doing that still.